Okay. Let's do this.
Yes, everything looks good.
Okay.
All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia, Season 3, Episode 13.
Now, is it right for me to be wearing this All Might shirt? Because I get the feeling we might not be seeing that costume really anymore.
Boy, of course it's okay. You wear it in memoriam of the great hero.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
See, the symbol of peace may be gone, but All Might still lives.
That's right.
So, of course you wear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of which, on a completely different note...
What? No, the dorm life is all about...
Yes, that's
all
what I
about
was
the
going to be
symbol of
talking
peace.
about, is that could we be getting, like, MHA dorm life, slice of life, like shenanigans? Like
that would be amazing.
That would be so cool.
Now, the downside of that is that means we will be almost 100% guaranteed to get a Mineta montage, which... You know,
okay.
But,
On the trade-off, though,
yeah,
is we get to develop maybe a little bit more depth into some of the side characters that haven't really been given the focus that they deserve, and given for this time.
That would be fantastic.
We're not really focused on the villains in this kind of.
I want to see
UA students some actual like depth and stuff like that. That'd be really nice. Really nice.
I want to see pillow fights. I want to see late night conversations talking about life. I want to see all kinds of stuff.
I think that we won't get any of that.
But it would be so cool.
I think eventually, yes, we will probably
maybe
get something like that. That would be pretty awesome. What I think is actually going to happen, though, is that in that Mineta montage you're talking about, he's going to be, like, imagining the pillow fights.
Some sort of sexy pillow fight or something.
Yeah,
I'm more thinking, like, with the guys using their powers, like their quirks, in the pillow fight. Like,
okay. I was thinking, what if, like... Tokoyami, like you're thinking about deep conversations and stuff. Tokoyami and like Todoroki just sit up late at night, just talking. So man, the universe, yeah.
Your brooding game's pretty strong. I know you're doing pretty good too.
Guys, we're excited. MHA, so good.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep my ideas down.
I love that they did that little image flash through of all the stuff leading up to it. Like,
and now we know what she looks like. Nana.
Yep.
Nana Shimura.
Yep.
Oh. What's going on?
I just had a really weird thought.
What is that?
You know how Mineta's probably going to have some sort of like trying to peep on the girls scene?
Okay.
If for some reason Toga tried to infiltrate the dorms, they could do a reverse that where she's trying to sneak into the boys' dorms.
And like Toga
like that wouldn't happen
like...
because obvious reasons, but like I just had this picture of her like sneaking through like the hallways at night with like
Like, I'm genuinely creeped out at the thought of that. Like,
right, but it would be like one of those like pseudo comedy moments in the middle of like something serious happening. You know,
I don't know.
It would so not happen. But
do not want.
Just a random thought.
She seems like she's just as likely to like give Deku a kiss as she has to like cut his dick off. Like.
お師匠どことなく先代と似ているよ
え、お母さんが
うん髪型とか
髪か新生活を
Okay.
So they're all going.
Yep.
Yeah. Good old montage. Oh my gosh.
I love how for him they did a close-up that took the entire screen.
He was already in class. He was like just sitting there like, I'm early. Like,
I'm ready.
Yeah. Whoa, 3 days? I guess that's what court construction do.
They got a frat house now.
Yeah, basically.
とりあえず1年 A 組無事にまた集まれて何よりだ
みんな入寮の許可下りたんだな。
私は苦戦したよ。普通そうだよね。
これから寮について軽く説明
First.
その前に一つ。
Okay.
仮免取得に向けて動いていく。霧島、八百万、轟、緑谷、飯田。
You won't get them?
この5人はあの晩、あの場所へ爆豪を
Yeah. They stuck to the rules.
いろいろ棚上げした上で言わせてもらうよ。
Aizawa
オー
fashion.
ルマイトの引退がなけりゃ俺は爆豪二郎、葉隠以外全員除籍処分にしてる。
Whoa.
言った5人はもちろん把握しながら止められなかった12人も理由はどうあれ正規の活躍をして信頼を取り戻してくれる。
Okay.
以上。さあ中に入るぞ。元気に行こう。
And then he tells them to have some energy. Wait. Kaminari?
霧島おこうなに肩上げちげ俺が下ろした鍵
Oh, he heard about the night vision goggles. Yeah.
いつまでもしみったれられっとこっちも気分悪いんだ
Oh, Bakugo's
Baka.
So wait, like Bakugo's
comedy.
right, but
helping
Bakugo's
out.
helping out.
Yeah,
he's
he's
being kind of
actually
a
like
leader
taking
and stuff.
charge.
学生寮は一棟一クラス。右が女子、左が男子と分かれてる。た
Okay.
だし1階は共同スペースだ。
It's like a mansion.
She's not used to money.
風呂洗濯が共同
Oh
ス
my
ペース
gosh, you freaking.
夢か
Yeah.
男女別だ。お前いい加減にしとけよ。
はい。
部屋は2
Yes,
階から
sir. Everyone gets their own room.
そ
Wow.
こにクローゼット付きの贅沢空間だ。
Whoa.
ベランダもあるすごい我が家のクローゼットと同じくらい
Kaminari's not
This
gonna
is what
remember
seems as
any
the
of this.
closets we have at home. And Uraraka's still like it's like a mansion.
霧島煮とき終わったのかようやくな
お疲れ様。
経緯はあれだが共同生活ってワクワクすんな
Yeah.
生活これも協調性や
All this for 20 people.
気張るないいだ
お部屋披露大会しませんか
Oh, that's clever. That's clever.
Okay.
Wait. It's an otaku's room. Yes, please let us see.
He's like, nope, no way. Yes! I love it so
キー
much.
ホルダー俺中学の時買った
In middle school.
It's so edgy.
Yep.
Get out.
出ていけ
Get out.
Okay, this is
It's
perfect.
twinkling. Does the ring.
通りだ
Yeah.
This is a great way to show what the characters are like.
Yes.
入れよ
No.
すげえの見せてやんよ
No.
3回
Rejected. Rejected so hard. Oh.
そうな本がずらっと
Whoa. Ida. Holy crap. Yes, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Koda. That's so cute.
They have Ida's
His
glasses.
glasses, yes.
なんか競い始めてる。
が言われっぱなしってのは変だよなお部屋披露大会つったよななら当然女子の部屋も見て決めるべきじゃねえのか
That is
I mean,
fair.
yeah.
And Bakugo's just sleeping through this. Oh, poor boy. He's had a rough last few days.
いいのか
じゃあ誰がクラス1のインテリアセンスか
Of course, yes.
決めるってことで
The Room King.
別に決めなくてもいいけどさ
オイラだけが主張しても足気にされてただろう。じることで
What
オ
is
イラの主張はミーという皮をかぶるのさ。
this? Okay. He's getting genius. Oh my god.
自然な流れで女子部屋を分食できる。
Wow.
で
Kirishima.
もいいけど多分女子にはわかんねえぞ
Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Manliness.
女子にやってほしくないヘアランキング2位くらいにありそう。暑いね、暑苦しい。
Okay,
Dang.
that's really cool.
That's cool.
That shows a lot about his character.
ドスケベなんだぜ。
Wow.
Gone through any of the girls.
Wow. That's a really nice room.
Yeah.
だったんだ。
ギャップの男セロ君だよ。
屈指のイケメンボ
It's gonna be totally anticlimactic.
の部屋、ちょっとドキドキ。
さっさと済ましてくれ、レミ。
和室だ。
A Japanese style room. Yes, that's right.
コークだからよ。
Yeah.
頑張った。
I've worked hard.
大物になりそう。
イケメンのやることはちげえな。
Oh yeah,
Cooking.
because he gets power from sugar.
っていうかいい香りするのこれ何？ああいけねえ忘れてた。だいぶ早く片付いたんだよ。シフォンケーキ焼いてたんだ。
Oh, nice.
ボーノボーノ。
Look at the invisible girl.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so when she eats, it does disappear.
素敵なご趣味をお持ちですのね、佐藤さん。今度私の紅茶と合わせてみません？
こんな反応。
Oh. Whoa.
Hey, that's
Whoa,
cool.
that's awesome.
じゃあロッキンガールなんだ。
Oh, and Jiro is like
That's
really
awesome.
like self-conscious about it.
料理は
At least the
このね
basics.
部屋だ。なんしくじゃ。
Wow.
次か次。
Whoa.
普通に女子っぽい。
Whoa. Yeah.
すな。
It's just exploded with color.
Oh,
Wow.
正面突破かよ、ミネタ君。次は私だ。じゃーん、可愛いでしょうが。
okay.
Whoa.
じゃあ最後はや
Oh, is she really embarrassed? Like,
Yeah.
私見当違いをしてしまいまして、皆さんの創意あふれるお部屋と比べて少々手狭になってしまいました。
That is a bed. How did she get it in there?
maybe she created it. Who knows?
それでは爆豪とつゆちゃんを除いた
Todoroki's gonna be in second. It's gonna be a surprising one in first.
Wait, minus Mineta too, because they never went into
Yeah.
his room.
佐藤力だ。
Oh, Sato! Yeah!
女子票。
Okay.
理由はケーキ美味しかった。
The cake was delicious.
Wasn't even because of the.
Yeah!
轟くん、ちょっと待って。デク君と飯田君も、それに霧島君、八百万さん、ちょっといいかな。
Okay.
Meeting.
つゆちゃんがみんなにお話ししたいんだ。
Sorry, or like does she feel bad?
思ったことは何でも言っちゃうの。ブルというのなら、その行為はヴィランのそれと同じなのよ。
Oh, and she feels bad about.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
心を鬼にして辛い言い方をしたわ。
Oh.
つゆちゃん、それでもみんな言ってしまったと今朝聞いてがいなさよ。いろんな嫌な気持ちが溢れて、
Oh.
なんて言ったらいいのかわからなくなって、みんなと楽しくおしゃべりできそうになかったのよ。それはとても悲しいの。
Oh.
だからまとまらなくってもちゃんとお話をして、
Yeah.
またみんなと楽しく。不安で拭い去りたくって、だから、
Yeah.
部屋王とかやったのもきっとデク君たちの気持ちは分かってたからこそのあれで、だから責めるんじゃなく、またあれ。
すまれ話してくれて。
Yeah, Kirishima response. Yes. Yeah.
すまね
つゆちゃん。
Yeah, he remembered to say her first name.
約束する。
Oh. Yeah. Group hug, group hug. Everyone group hug.
みんな戻そうと頑張ってくれていた。さあ、
Oh my gosh, his arm.
Whoa.
ヒーローを目指し切磋琢磨するあの日常へ。
Wow. Very sweet.
Okay.
Like, that was definitely a transition episode. Like,
And I loved it so much.
it was fantastic. But
Ah.
but like they chose to have that bit with Sue at the end, and by having it, I think it brings up something really important that we'll have to discuss. It's not going to take as much time necessarily, but specifically with how characters' actions affect others in ways that that we're not necessarily fully aware of.
Right, exactly, because Deku's the only perspective character.
And even then, like, Deku does things, I'm sure, that we need to be constantly reminded about how people react to that and feel about it. But some of them are going to be responses where we're going to be like, wait, where'd that come from? So Tsu's was definitely foreshadowed.
Yeah.
But I feel like that just tells us we need to pay really close attention to these other side characters in 1A because they might be, you know, building up something that, you know, we're not aware of until they have a talk like this with Tsu. Oof.
All right,
that was such a good way to end
episode.
It because they had this whole comedy, you know,
room king,
room competition thing, which is super silly. Really fun for them to just kind of show some, if anything, some cool visuals to just kind of show off like the creativity and the things that truly separate the characters beyond just their quirks, and their names and their hairstyles and stuff.
Yeah, so it was an excuse to basically do a montage showing what these characters are like, you know, at home, right?
Yeah. And while I don't know if any of it has plot relevance,
probably not.
I think the main thing that it is separating is the previous kind of arc, essentially, from whatever comes up next. This is a very clear line in the sand where we don't have All For One to deal with right now. We don't have to think about villains basically doing things. We're now going to be focused on, like they said in the very beginning of the episode, they're going to be focused on getting the provisional license that they would have gotten at the end of the training camp. And they said provisional licenses, so I'm guessing this is basically the temporary hero license.
Yeah, it's not a driver's license, it's a permit, you know, or something like that.
Well, no, I think it's the equivalent of a hero's license. It's just one specifically for I think you're right. Permit. I mean, it covers
exactly the same thing, but
okay. I would say it's not a full one. They probably don't need because a permit you would need someone with you. Sure. I don't think they would need someone with them to give them, you know, saying you can use your quirk now.
Yeah, it might just be something that it's like, okay, while you're at UA, you know, and you know, for such and such amount of time or something like that.
It just might expire at a specific time.
Right, so if they drop out of UA and don't then move on to become, you know, actual professional superheroes...
Right, they might not never get an official hero license.
Exactly, yeah.
That being the focus of maybe the upcoming story sounds really cool.
Yes.
Because we could be getting into maybe how Hero Society sees what it is to be a hero, which is an interesting thought. The idea of, we've seen a lot of tests and things, we've seen a lot of quirk assessment things and whatever, but we haven't actually seen an official, like, this is what you need to do in order to be officially recognized as a hero. Like, there's no, like, procedure that we've seen that's like, not really. This is the kind of stuff you need to do. And if we know what that stuff is, that's a goal that we can see a measured progression towards for the kids individually, not just like Deku or the class as a whole, but individually be like, oh wow, Kaminari is actually taking really good steps to becoming a hero. Same with Ida. It's like, oh, like Todoroki isn't actually doing that well or something like that, you know. Who knows? But they had that sweet little bit with Bakugo in the beginning, and he like trying to cheer up the class.
And I love that. He just dragged Kaminari back behind the area. And he didn't really have to convince Kaminari.
He did something, and Kaminari reacted.
Exactly.
So,
and Bakugo seemed to be okay too.
Bakugo seemed to be unfazed by it.
Yeah, he got out of the blast radius or something.
Something. I like that the mood by which Aizawa kind of brought it down was immediately brought back up by Bakugo.
Yeah, like,
do you guys realize how like weird that is? Like, Bakugo. So Bakugo has gone through a metamorphosis, guys.
Yes.
When he got captured by the villains and when he got saved and he had this whole thing of watching All Might, you know, save him and stuff, he's a different person. And it's not going to be this like all of a sudden he's completely different, but like he's on a path now.
This really reminds me of the whole metamorphosis part in Airbender, because what was one of the things that Zuko had to do a lot of during that time? Sleep.
Yep.
Bakugo immediately goes in and goes to sleep. It's like, I just did something like nice and like, you know, did something leadership oriented.
It's so tiring.
It's exhausting. It doesn't feel right. Like, I need to go sleep this off.
Yeah, well, the reason why he's sleeping it off is because he hasn't slept for maybe the last like 2 days.
Right, exactly. Yeah. There's that too. I just love that there was that little thing in there too. Like how they timed it was just fantastic.
It was pretty cool.
Aizawa, what he said, that was...
Yeah, Aizawa would have expelled them all except for the ones that just were unaware, like Bakugo, Jiro, and...
Hakagure. Hagakure. Invisible Girl. Yeah.
What is her other name? Because I've been using that more often.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Invisible Girl.
Invisible Girl, yeah. Okay, so that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I get why they would have done it, but I still think this is another example of where Aizawa is using the extreme to get a specific result out of the students.
Right.
I think that he's telling the truth.
Sure.
But I think that the delivery of it is not an Aizawa isn't good with people mistake. It's very intentional.
Oh, yeah.
He's very much trying to scare them into order.
Right, he's like, this stuff... Stop. Like, so will not be tolerated.
So the problem with that is that anyone who's really smart, could look at this and go, wait a minute, like, why? Why tell us at all? Like, there's something kind of controlling,
right? Well,
about
it.
The
the idea that, okay, since it seems like they're not in a position where they can afford to have a bunch of heroes not make it through the course because now that All Might's gone, in the coming years,
this is just the first years. This is just the first years.
Right.
There are the second and third years out there.
Yeah. But the idea that it's like, okay, you know, we
and this is just half of the first years in the hero course,
right?
So
yeah, it felt kind of like if you're at a job where the people are super understaffed and you do something that, or you know, someone else does something that's like, should they still be working here? And it's like, well, okay, maybe if in a different situation they might not be, but we need all the people we can get right now.
Right. I think you're taking what I was saying a little bit too much to the extreme.
Okay.
What I was just saying was that the point of it is that Aizawa is using manipulative verbiage, intentionally. And I think the reason why it's intentional is because the previous scene set up Nezu as doing a behind-the-scenes look into things. Now, they're doing a public investigation, but they're also doing stuff behind the scenes. Now, Nezu talked about back earlier that he had his own kind of plan set up of how he was going to look into things and such. I think that plan is getting put into effect now. I think that's why the dorms have only one person per dorm.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that's going to get a little bit weird. Mineta is all about spying on the girls and stuff like that. What's hilarious about that is that Mineta's own crazed pervness is probably actually going to become plot relevant
because he'll end if he could end up seeing like if there is
some kind of suspicious activity.
Sure. Or now if the villains are trying to infiltrate and he's sneaking around at night, he sees them and he's like
okay, so what I think is going to become relevant is that the reason why they also have them in specific dorms is because these dorms are monitored.
Yeah.
Like almost a little bit creepy monitored. Now, here's the thing. UA likes to play things pretty close to the chest with the way they handle things, and as they should, because you know they're not beholden to the students to tell them everything.
Right.
But here's the thing. If the parents knew that their kids were being put into individual dorms, their kids and are being watched, not necessarily with cameras, but with sensors.
Yeah, could be infrared or something. Hopefully it's not just visual, because otherwise that wouldn't work for Invisible Girl.
This is a great example of where already, I can't tell if this is being introduced in a subtle fashion or if I'm just reading way too into it. But this is an example already of the freedom versus security thing being brought up.
Sure.
Now, I really wonder if this is going to be a storyline that they'll even go into in the grand sense of things.
That would be really cool.
But it would be really cool if they did, because here's the thing. Let's say it's not any of the students. Like, none of the students are, any kind of a spy or any kind of an informant or what have you. This whole thing could end up getting revealed and have no net result for the heroes, where they're like, well, it's for the greater good. And then Mineta, while he's like trying to find some way to spy on them and stuff, he ends up finding about this power network that's going to all the rooms, and it's like, wait, where is this going to?
Right.
And he's like so small that he like crawls into like the ceilings and stuff, and he's like, where does this lead? And he realizes that there's like all kinds of specific kind of sensors and things to figure out, like when they leave the dorms, when they're in there and stuff. Another thing that I was thinking that could be brought up at the dorms bit, I'm sorry, I'm done here in a second, is that the dorms being shown, if it has anything to do with plot relevance, is that the dorms themselves could potentially be revealing something about characters that aren't basically as this is something I was bringing up. So Shoji didn't have anything in his room. One of the things that I don't think it's as suspicious, because I think it makes sense that he would be a minimalist based on kind of the character of him that we've seen thus far, which by the way is very minimal. Pun intended. He doesn't seem that invested really in his standing here in the dorm as someone else might be. Now, what if something in the dorms individually could be a clue? Because I think if they were going to have there be some kind of a spy, this would be a great way to very casually foreshadow it, just by having a montage of flashing images.
Right.
So do you think we should go at some point in the future and just screenshot every single room?
In a lot of ways, I am more interested in rewatching this episode than even like the previous 2 episodes. Like because those ones were so emotionally heavy, I almost didn't want to rewatch them right away.
I've
already
rewatched episode 11 like 5 times.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I want to keep it in this like glass box of awesome.
So you want to rewatch this one,
but I want to rewatch this one because I feel like there were a lot of they gave out a lot of like detail things that seem completely like don't matter.
Right.
Devil's in the details,
Devil is always in the details.
Like this is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, I want to analyze this. I want to go back and
So you think there might be something? There might be something to that idea. Possibly. that the episode that seemingly has no plot relevance beyond Tsuyu and Bakugo and the provisional licenses and Nezu's investigation thing. But basically the majority of the screen time of the episode being focused on the room kind of inspection thing.
Misdirections are, that's the best way to do twists and stuff, right?
Sure.
Any kind of trick.
Sure.
Make people be looking one way while you do something else.
Who didn't have their room showed besides Mineta, Bakugo,
Tsuyu, and that's it.
Is that it?
I believe so.
Everyone else had their room shown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I've theorized, I think it's just because this is a shonen.
Yeah.
The informant or spy being some kind of a student means this is kind of weird, it's kind of sexist, but almost has to be a guy.
Okay.
And the reason why I think is because a lot of the guys are criminally underdeveloped. But then the guys are also getting way more focused than the girls.
Gotcha.
So it's unfortunate, but I think it's showing that the show tends to lean towards developing the guys more than it does the girls. Meaning that if they want to have a guy suddenly develop, like especially in this upcoming set of episodes, I'm going to be looking very closely at that.
And it's also the idea that since they have fewer female characters, like when they went through the rooms, they're like, that's all the girls' rooms. I'm like, wait, was that really it? And then I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there aren't that many girls in Class 1A.
7 girls, I think.
Yeah, I think 7. Yeah. So, it seems way less likely that they would essentially remove a character from the story by having one of the girls be an informant. They could do it with Invisible Girl, and that would be hilarious.
Yes,
but
Invisible Girl is the one that's like the most obvious. But I would love a hardcore twist if it was someone that we've come to appreciate more.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like Uraraka. Like that would not happen.
Yeah.
That would not happen.
But like it could potentially be someone like Jiro, for instance, you know.
Because she's gotten like no development.
Yeah.
Right now.
Although we did see her parents, so
she's not she's not the spy. She's not the spy.
Uh.
Like I would say like Mina Ishida would be the best twist of it all because
then
her
she
design
gets, like,
her design, maybe she's like had a past of just people like looking at her and being like, oh, you monster, you freak, you creepy, whatever. And she is put on a positive spin because she's actually hurting the most or something like that.
Sure.
But no one treats her in any way, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of irrelevant stuff. It was really funny. It was really funny seeing the extreme room setups.
Tokoyami's was amazing.
was just dripping with edge and darkness.
Like, thank you. Because
I loved that.
And here's the thing, because Tokoyami,
it makes sense.
It totally makes sense.
It makes sense.
And Tokoyami, as far as like his character design and his quirk and everything, you can tell it's one of those like edgy type, you know, all that stuff. But it's not like presenting it all out there edgy. It's more like quietly in my room edgy. You know? So
and now we know why.
Now we know. We go into his room and I love Kirishima or like, Kaminari being like, whoa, I got one of these back when I was in middle school.
I think it was Kirishima, but
okay, yeah.
But yeah. It was like, oh yeah. I bought this little this,
and he's like, no, don't go in, and like, and who is it? Mina and
Invisible Girl. Yeah, like, they're pushing him out of the way. And he's just like, no. The best part was that he was like also resisting in an edgy kind of like, I'm aloof, you know, I don't really care. And oh man, that was fantastic.
Uraraka constantly getting like slapped in the face with how rich Momo's family is.
Well, no, not Momo's family. Well, okay, well she does have that when she's talking about how this would be the size of one of my closets.
And Uraraka's like, this place is a mansion.
But she's getting slapped in the face with how wealthy UA is at being able to give these out to the students.
Yeah.
So for Uraraka, she's dumbfounded by like how nice everything is. Like I don't want to have like a sweet little like oh Uraraka, but like I'll bet you she's never had her own room before.
Or
no, because we don't know if she has kids.
Yeah,
I mean not kids. Siblings.
Uraraka has kids.
Uraraka does not have kids. No.
That's how she's the spy. She's doing it all for the safety and future of the child.
But like they could have a thing where it's like they all live in a 1-bedroom apartment and there's 2 beds in there and it's mom and dad. And
or the parents' room and the kids' room, you know, and like her little brother, or you know,
if she has siblings, yeah. I was saying if she doesn't have siblings though, maybe because their family can't afford to have too many kids, you know.
Yeah.
Uraraka could be. Oh yeah, I had to sleep in my parents' room, and that's a little bit weird. Wait, maybe they wouldn't do that. No.
Yeah.
It's really weird how stories in general, when there's people that aren't, you know, they don't have a lot of money and stuff, they'll have them being shown having a lot of kids. Oh. When I've seen, and I think that's more of a Western thing, but I think in some of these stories and stuff, you'll see people where it's like, oh, we just have the one kid. Like, we couldn't, like, because that's more, I would say that's more, it's not, there's nothing realistic about it or something like that, but just the idea that, like, having a lot of kids is a blessing. Like, and it's also really expensive. Like,
right. Yeah.
So, you know,
Costco shopping.
Stuff.
Yeah. But just seeing all the different designs and stuff was really cool. I loved how they had Jiro be like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool or whatever, you know, and Kaminari and, you know, the other people are like, oh my gosh, there's so much like music stuff in here. like she had a drum set, at least one guitar.
Yeah, it might have been 2.
A piano, like a keyboard, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe other stuff I can't remember.
Right.
But it was a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I do want to see what kind of potential slice of life things they're building up though with having the dorm situation be a thing. I want to see kind of the communal meal kind of thing that they built up with the training
those
camp
cooking
thing.
skills.
Yeah. But basically, them all coming together and making food. That'd be really cool.
Sure.
They don't have to devote like any more than 2 minutes to that, but like just having that would be really fun.
Yeah.
And then having Sato, with the cakes and stuff, that kind of builds up that potentially. We could have an MHA kind of slice of life cooking / talking about the training or what have you.
Sure. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad about how Aizawa shut down Mineta so hard. Just being like, watch yourself.
Right. Well, and there could even be something where it's like, if the place is being surveillanced, suddenly like Mineta's sneaking around, and then Aizawa, he randomly bumps into Aizawa, and Aizawa's like, what are you doing up, up this late, And
he's just like, or that's it, basically, like, once he like leaves the room, it's not that like the alarms go off or something, but it's like, okay, guys, like the rule is you don't leave your room
after curfew or whatever,
past this time of night, right? You need your sleep, but also
everyone else needs their sleep.
Yes, all that. What you could have is basically a little bit of a showing of the sensor thing being tripped off of, like Mineta being like, all right, it's my time.
He's got like, and maybe if he did like figure out that there was some sort of like sensor stuff, security things, he has like a can of like spray stuff to like show the little lasers of the.
Anyway, I just want there to be this moment where Mineta comes around the corner and then just slow motion Aizawa like just comes around right there, and he's like, "Do you really like being in UA, Mineta?" And he's just like. Like he just wets his stupid diaper and like just like
Aizawa just basically like wraps him up in his things and then hangs him from the ceiling in front of the door of like the girls' laundry, like room or whatever, so that everyone knows that he tried to sneak in.
Oh, I was gonna say, why don't you just hang him up like in the middle of the common room and you just staple like a written thing to his diaper butt thing or whatever, and they're like, all right, this is what he did, and like, yeah, have fun sleeping now. We're cruel.
Yeah, in reality, the blood would rush to his head and it would be all sorts of trouble, so.
Well, also that's just unusual punishment. So, anyhow, the episode overall, relatively simple.
Yep.
Not
really
a lot
glad we
happened.
got that bit with Tsuyu.
Very sweet bit with Tsuyu.
Awesome.
That was something that I don't think they needed to do in the story.
Yeah, they could have totally not done that and it would have been fine.
So glad
they did it and it was great.
It's fantastic. I also like that they didn't make it kind of a thing of like, oh no, Sue, you don't need to worry about that. Like the people basically trying to make her feel better by not letting her say what she needs to say.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of a sign of the maturity of the students that she was talking to, and that they did that. And also Uraraka kind of made her feel better by saying kind of, well, we were all feeling stuff like that.
And I'm really glad that they didn't make it about her saying, I shouldn't have said that, but rather I said it in a way that was, not very understanding.
Well, she did.
Yeah.
She was talking about how she didn't know how to communicate for you guys to not do that. So she doesn't disagree.
Right.
That
exactly
they shouldn't have done that. She's like, no, you guys shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But she felt like her words were hurtful and rude or mean or just something that's not Sue. And it probably hurt Sue a lot to just feel like she had to be the one to say that, because in a lot of ways Sue is sometimes the most cool, collected, logical, calm individual out of everyone in UA. So,
and I'm really glad that because we got that later in the episode, that makes what Aizawa said earlier in the episode even better.
Yes.
Because that's, even though Sue might not have taken it in as a way of reaffirming what she tried to do.
Oh, true.
Because she she didn't succeed, so in her mind she should have been like, I should have, like, oh, this is all my fault because I can't communicate well because I don't understand emotions very well or something.
Right.
It could also be, her basically knowing, okay, that's right. Me trying to stop everybody was good. Okay,
Yeah.
So she doesn't beat herself up too much for that.
I hope that this episode this episode structure isn't used again though this season. I do think
really?
though that you can only really afford to do one of these.
I think they could do
in a season.
I think they could do one more. They just want to space it out. Like if they did another like 6-episode arc and then did another one of these or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the main thing is that if they did episodes with chunks of stuff like this, and then
That's my point. That's my point. I said the
actual...
episode structure, where you have basically montages and people expositing things to the main cast.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that again. Like,
sure.
That alone is not a good episode structure for a linear overarching story.
Even though they did have a very creative way to do it.
Oh, they did have a very creative way to do it.
Entertaining and all that stuff.
Yeah, totally. I was just saying that, like, in terms of story structure, the Tsuyu filler story was better than this. So just needs to be said.
Gotcha.
But yeah, guys, we're looking forward to the next one. We don't have early access or anything like that, but check out the link in the description below for our Patreon if you want to get on our Discord to chat with us about MHA episodes as they come out and stuff, or after we watch them more accurately, and also for full-length reactions on our Patreon as well. So you can see those as well if that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.